and Simon's here. It's the episode that you all fear. We've done it once, we've done it twice, now it's 3. Let the fear destroy your soul. That's the musical episode, so buckle up and let's go, my dear. Come on, let me entertain you. Let me entertain you. Hello and welcome to BookTube with Simon and Amy. Still the only channel that says hello and welcome to BookTube with Simon and Amy. Today we're going to be reviewing Becky by Sarah May. A book where tight plotting, colourful characters and heartbreaking prose are abandoned entirely in favour of a rip-off of Vanity Fair. Now, this book is set in the 90s and no self-respecting booktuber could possibly discuss a 90s book without acknowledging that this is set at the time of the 90s banger. 90s music is superfluous. It is among the best music there is, and it's only right that we acknowledge that as we go along. Because it's one thing to like good books, it's another thing to really like good books. Oh my god, Becky, will you look at that book? It looks so book. I like good books and I cannot lie. You other brothers can't deny that when a cover falls open with unbroken spine and a chapter 1 in your face, you get sprung. Wanna turn that page cause you know that the plot was stuffed. Deep into the plot she's weaving. I'm hooked and I can't stop reading. So we begin our story with Becky, and the beginning of the book is actually really good. I enjoyed the beginning of the book. We get a bit of backstory and then we see her starting out at an interview to be a nanny. And the conversation between her and the head of the agency is written really well. There's a great sense of place. You get a good understanding of what Becky's like. You get an impression of the person that she's speaking with. To be honest, I was really optimistic from the opening scene that this was going to be a really good, interesting character piece. Of course, Becky lied to her completely, but that was necessary because her backstory was fairly unappealing to a nanny agency. So she had to just sit and tell the nanny a pack of fibs. Look into my eyes, can't you see they're open wide? But I'm lying to you, woman, yeah, I'm lying to you. Not a single word is true, but you believe me like a fool. I'm lying to you, woman, yeah. Suitably employed, she goes off to work for the Crawleys in the home. Now, I know what you're thinking. Young, working class girl going to work for the rich Crawley family in their luxurious home.
There's nothing simpler than avoiding people you don't like. Avoiding one's friends, that's the real test.
Well, stop thinking about that because you're wrong. You're wrong. That's not what's happening at all. It's much more like this.
Ladies and gentlemen, the first fucking thing my son's ever done right in his life.
Pitt Crawley, her employer, is the head of a media empire, and she's working for him and his wife, looking after their children. So this is much more about Becky trying to begin a career in journalism by inveigling herself in the Crawley household. The mum tells her lots of things, but we're not quite sure if she is reliable. We're not quite sure if she's on Becky's side or setting her up to fail. Frankly, whenever she speaks, we just can't trust this. Can't trust this. Can't trust this. Can't trust this. Part of the explanation for Mrs. Crawley, who's very rich, very lonely, and very bored, acting in the way she does is no doubt because it is heavily implied, although not explicitly stated, that Becky's predecessor left her post as the nanny after engaging in some activities with Mr. Crawley which were unlikely to have been on the job description. Tell me why he went and shagged the nanny. Tell me why, what a cliche, not the nanny. Tell me why, we all knew I was going to say he went and shagged the nanny. And there's an awful lot of tension between Pit Crawley and Becky. There's a meal that he arranges for them to have alone together. It seems very much to be heading in that direction, and Becky seems very much willing for it to head in that direction if she gets her foot in the door of the media empire, but then it all fizzles out to absolutely nothing. Tell me why he didn't shag the nanny. Tell me why not again with the nanny. Tell me why we all thought I was going to say he was going to shag another nanny. I'm not saying I wanted it to happen. All I'm saying is, what is the point of this plot thread that just goes absolutely nowhere? Well, plot threads that go absolutely nowhere are the order of the day, as well as plot threads that appear mid-plot absolutely nowhere. But before we get into that, what I do like about this early part of the book is, while we see this unfold in modern day 1990s, we also learn a lot about Becky's childhood and about her relationship with her mum. Chaotic home life, unreliable mother, but we also learn about the difficulties that are present in the household and Becky's relationship with her neighbours. And all of that does do a really good job in us understanding where Becky is now, what her background is, what motivates her, why she behaves the way that she does. We learn an awful lot about her mum. I actually felt quite sorry for her mum at quite a lot of points, and I thought that first part of the book is probably the best bit. I was really invested in the early Becky and her mum, less so in present day Becky because it didn't really seem to have much going on for it apart from this potential dalliance with the boss that doesn't ever transpire. But the early part of the book I thought worked really well. Unfortunately, you then turn the page and everything has changed. Hey, what just happened? What the hell just happened? It all changed. Hey, what the hell just happened? What the hell just happened? It all changed. Hey. It's all gone. It's all gone. Everything that we thought was happening is now ages ago. The story has moved on by some time. Lots of important developments have transpired off page between the chapters, and we're just supposed to catch up like it never happened. The reason for this shocking decision is because Becky is quite proudly a 90s retelling of Vanity Fair, a very old book that was published as a serial format and had massive time jumps and was then smushed together into a novel that if you were to write today would never be published. But because it is based on a classic, they get away with it. It's highly annoying. It's really annoying. It's absolutely devastating. So there was all this stuff going on, and it's now not going on. There were all these friendships being developed. Forget about that. There was the tension with Mrs. Crawley. Well, she's not even really mentioned. At this point, suddenly, Becky has moved out. And then she's in a different living arrangement. So all that, getting to know the children and all this sort of stuff, forget it. Gone. Children, never seen or heard of again. Everything we invested in part 1, gone for part 2. Excuse me? Why are you wasting my time? books is what I do best, but by this stage I am losing interest. These are future events that have already been. It'll be like this till the end. Hello, 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 do I know you? Hello, hello, hello. Oh, I do know you. Hello, hello, hello. This is so slow. Hello, hello, hello. Turn the lights out. I can't read this. This narrative structure, so tedious. This is stupid. Rip the pages. Oh, more flashbacks. Someone save us! At the Mercury, at Miss Mercy, at Tomato, at Ringo Splato. Yeah, hey, yeah. Guitar solo. Look, yes, animated. Do I know you? Do I know you? At the Mercury, at May's Mercy. Oh, turn the lights out. We had all this lovely running thing about Becky being fantastic at playing the piano, and we learn in the flashbacks in the early part of the story that this is because she was being taught to play the piano by a teacher who was interested in her mum, and there was a whole thing about her relationship with the teacher and the teacher's relationship with the mum, and all sorts of stuff goes on. Now Becky uses this to construct a fake backstory about how her mother was a wonderful Russian dancer and her dad worked in the orchestra, and then she plays piano for the Crawleys, and this all goes on and on. You think this is heading somewhere? No, all forgotten, all gone, and now, as I say, we are in a brand new living situation with a neighbouring nanny called Chloe, who we had the fledgling friendship with, and then a friend of Chloe's, Amelia, who is a nightmare. Now Chloe and Becky's relationship has changed, but we don't know why, and Amelia is just a total bin. Everything Becky tries to do, it just gets chucked back in her face.
Throw it back, throw it back, throw it back, throw it in your face. Throw it back, throw it back, throw it back, throw it in your face.
And as for the piano, don't expect it to ever tickle the ivories again. It's not a plot point, it's not relevant, it's in no way useful. It is just absolutely pointless. It is this wonderful backstory and this skill that's so meaningful and so relevant in part 1 that is then just totally forgotten and useless in part 2. It's not the beginning of something important. It's not the beginning of anything that's going to affect the plot. It's not. It's actually just, I mean, to be honest with you, it's quite clearly nothing that she's going to explore in any meaningful way at any point of her life. All we actually know is that she quite likes playing the piano. Oh, it's a hobby. It doesn't affect the plot in any way. Hobby. Oh, it's a hobby. And no. Well, that was horrific. Oh, I don't know if you can see, because it's a shell suit, a lovely 90s shell suit, but it is soaking, and that tea is very quickly gone cold. Anyway, so we've established that we have ruined everything with this ridiculous change of jumping forward in time. Everything's changed, and the piano, let's just say, doesn't matter. Okay, so in part 2, Becky finally accomplishes her goal of getting her first foot in the door of the newspaper. But she's already there. So this big ambition that she had in part 1 has already been partially realised in part 2, without us learning how she did it, but more importantly, going on that journey with her. So this attachment you've got to part 1 Becky, and the way that we're rooting for her to achieve what she wants to, we're just told she achieved it a few years back, and now we've moved on, and you just feel robbed of being able to go on that journey with her. And what is the point of a book if it's not to go on a journey with the characters? We also discover that she's in some sort of strange love triangle that is told both now and in flashback, but again, she's re-met somebody that we didn't really ever see her meeting in the first place. So the fact that she's re-met him is not of any relevance or consequence to us, and it's very difficult to invest in this thing that is happening out with the narrative story. And then just as you're starting to get on with understanding where we're up to now, we reach part 3 and it all happens again. Because for some reason Sarah May has decided to take the rules of bookdom, which is write a character, make us care, let us go on the journey, and she's thought, sack that for a packet of biscuits, I'm just going to do what I want. She's gone rogue.
When this book fails and you want to be reading something better than you are today, hey, I know who to blame. It's Sarah May. She's done such a silly thing. She's forgotten how books work. She's gone rogue. She's let her character grow off the page. She's gone rogue. She's let her character grow off the page. Why did she do it?
Now, I'm not going to get into this again. It was less surprising, but no less annoying for it to happen a second time. But we are where we are, and where we are is in the 90s, publishing newspapers. And newspapers in the 90s were crazy. Now, for you Gen Z people that are watching, because I know that that's what Gen Z do, they watch this channel. Hello, whippersnappers. You might not realise this, but in the 90s newspapers were a big deal. It was like social media, but written down, because you couldn't scroll. You could just go, turn the page. And they were hounding celebrities and, you know, paparazzi everywhere, no less so than a certain princess. So we have Princess Diana, who's never named, but Princess in the book is busy having an affair and cheating on the prince, and this is to be exposed by the newspaper because it's hot gossip.
Oh, the princess wants to cheat. Your match, there's a price to pay. You'll be on our front cover. This isn't gonna go away. Oh, because you betrayed the prince. So the country's got to know. Becky's got to make a big impression. Hope you like getting screwed.
And anybody vaguely familiar with the role of the press and the life of Princess in the 90s will not be surprised to learn that this people's princess, whom everybody loves, who is adored by the world, is the hope for us all, finds herself at the centre of a very upsetting, heartbreaking
Tragedy. When the princess dies and the country cries, it's tragedy. When your career flies and you know why, it's hard to care. With your focus sharpening, you're going somewhere. Tragedy. When you've taken control because you've got no soul, it's tragedy.
when the country cries, but the numbers fly, it's hard to care. With no soul inside you, you're going somewhere. But again, it all happens in a really passive way, and we don't really get the chance to be invested. We see a little bit about how it frustrates and annoys Becky, and how it has a bit of an impact on her career trajectory. But then, as all this is going on, we've got all sorts of other stuff going on with different relationships and different people and characters who are in part 1 or part 2 popping up in part 3, or people who were irrelevant in part 2 now seemingly relevant in part 3, people who we used to care about, we don't even know what they're up to anymore, and it is just impossible to keep hold of. There are so many women. A little bit of Becky in my life, a little bit of Amelia by my side, a little bit of Rosa's all I need, a little bit of Chloe's what I see, a little bit of Ella in the sun, a little bit Matilda, too long a name, a little bit of Jane, and here I am, a little bit of Pitt, cause he's the man. Ah! And one man whom she decides to begin a relationship with. And part 3, at the end, we see her meet this person whose name I have forgotten, and we see their first meeting, we see the very start of a lovely relationship and romance blossom, and then Shazam! It's part 4, we're fast forwarded, and they're married. So again, we have no way to invest in this relationship. We see the meeting, and then we fast forward to they're married, or by the way, the marriage is actually not in that good of a place anyway, and the whole relationship has just happened off page. So how are you supposed to have any interest whatsoever in these two? None, because I fully accept that maybe it was the greatest love story never told, but the crucial part of that is it was never told. It must have been love, since they're married now. It must have been good, but we missed it somehow. It must have been love, but who cares now? The moment they touched, we skipped all the rest. So I could not give a monkey's anus about what's going on in this marriage, because I do not give a monkey's what's it about the relationship, because a monkey's dangly bits has not been invested in explaining to me why I should give a sausage. It is a joke. However, now in her wonderful media career that I have completely lost all hope in following or caring about, she is dealing with a missing girl. And there are again parallels with some cases in British recent history in the late 90s, early noughties perhaps, that I don't think it would be appropriate to name check, but it clearly is inspired by real events. And what we see is this very young girl has gone missing. It's terrible, and doesn't matter. I was going to say I'm not talking about the famous Portuguese case. I'm not talking about that. Anyway, becomes clear why. So the point of the matter is, the girl's gone missing, and Becky has now become a total nightmare, because now instead of actually giving any sort of toss whatsoever about the missing girl, she is thinking about how she can sell newspapers and how she can manipulate the family of the missing girl into achieving these ends. No matter what they tell us, no matter what it'll do, no matter how it'll hurt them, it's what we're gonna do. No matter if it's evil, however bad and dark, click your fingers. No matter how disgusting, we'll stab them in the back. I can't pretend
know I'm bad.
What I'm not. I know that I'm a scumbag. I know in hell I'll run. Now if you're starting to think, ooh, missing person case, this might go into thriller territory, may be interesting. Joke's on you, because guess what? That's it, Shazam Part 5 now! I sit and read as the author plotted out this tale. And does she know how to take us where we'll go to get the story told? 'Cause I have been sold. Vanity Fair has been terribly retold. So when I'm lying in my bed, thoughts running through my head about what I could read instead. We're skipping stages again, and through it all, she skips to the destination. No development or reflection, just dragging us along. And as my interest falls and my box sets shout me, I know this book will break me if I get to the end. Nobody would blame me if I'm skipping pages myself. Oh, someone get the fan on. Oh. Shock of the century, she's hacked their phones. You'll now understand the case I'm referring to. So she's hacked the phones, this is terrible, and nevertheless, as far as Becky's concerned, a means to an end. Now this, I appreciate that Diana and the phone hacking, and then the famous missing person that was involved in the phone hacking scandal in the 90s, all of that, I do appreciate how we have managed to get all of these big 90s events into the Vanity Fair setup, and I tip my hat to Sarah May for doing that. I think it was quite clever that she managed to get a lot of 90s pop culture and key historical events into the story. That I actually was really impressed by, and that's the sort of thing that I kind of enjoy in this sort of book, so credit to her for that. I'm just so disappointed that I couldn't go on the journey with them and experience these things happening instead of all happening off page, because now all we're doing is hacking phones. Screening my calls with her pager, selling papers with my words, hacking me softly on this phone, hacking me softly on this phone, being Piers Morgan with my words, hacking me softly on this phone. Now, you might remember that I said way back in part 2 that she's been having an issue with Chloe, Amelia's friend and sometime mutual flatmate. Well, this is the spoiler, but you're never going to read it, because why would you after I've said all this? So Chloe ends up in a situation where Becky has no option really but to put it all over the front pages. Chloe doesn't react well, the inevitable happens. It's more, doesn't really matter how. Point is, come on! They've clashed, they are enemies, Becky Sharp and Chloe D. I feel a premonition, this isn't going to end well. She's not into appreciation, but will always start a fight. She's got a coke addiction and she drinks all day and night. Becky's publishing her downfall and destroying her good name. She's lived a very crazy life, but her skin's too thin for this strain. Look like Becky won this game, come on! Destroyed, flushed right out. She's drinking too much coke now. She's gonna die, nobody will know she's dying as a diva. Her pain is buried deep, we're supposed to care, huh? It's 20 chapters far too late. She's dying as a diva, come on! Dying as a diva, come on! Dying as a diva, woo! And what I really would have wanted to see here is how Becky reacts emotionally to this, but much more of it is about the impact it has on her and the backlash against the media, which frankly has not changed. It's not that long ago since we saw people who have been at the receiving end of media coverage harm themselves, and then for us all to promise to be kind until the next big thing happens that we all decide to have a pile on with. So this is not new, but it's right that it's addressed, and I think it's good that it was addressed as part of this story. And I think it was interesting that it was somebody that she had a difficult relationship with, but albeit a relationship with. So I think there are lots of things in there that could have made this highly interesting, but again it didn't, because so much of it is happening off page, passively. We're told about it instead of being shown it, and then we end up in a situation where all we're really interested in is the fact that she's screwed. Yo, listen up, here's a story about a little girl who lives in a bad world, and all day and all night and everything she sees is just cruel, like her, inside and outside. Screw her friends and the people in her stories, and screw the public, cause everything is screwed for her, thanks to herself and everybody around, cause she ain't got no way out of this one. She's screwed, dabba-dee da 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 ba dabba dee. She is screwed, she's as screwed as can be. She is screwed, dabba-dee da 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 ba dabba dee. She's as screwed as can be. She's screwed, dabba-dee da 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 ba dabba dee. She is screwed, she's as screwed as can be. She is screwed, dabba-dee da 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 ba dabba dee. She is screwed, she's as screwed as can be. And then no sooner than that happens, Shazam! Another part. The final part, thank the heavens. And it's just more depressing stuff here in terms of missed opportunities and wasted potential, because we end up in what is effectively the phone hacking trial of Rebekah Brooks and the News of the World. Major event in the UK. So Becky is, by now, she is Rebekah Brooks. If this wasn't clear to you already, it should be by now. She's on trial for allegedly phone hacking and for inappropriate conduct, which has really harmed people in pursuit of publishing the best newspaper that she can. And what is really disappointing about this is that the trial doesn't even happen in the book. The trial happens off page. So even though this is the accumulation of everything that has happened in the novel, even that happens off page, which is absolutely disgraceful. So we are supposed to then end up with some sort of view by the end of it as to whether Becky got what she deserved or not. Do you think she got what she deserved? 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 Subscribe to me. Subscribe to me. Ooh, subscribe to me. Probably didn't work. But how could we possibly know that when all of the events have happened off page, and crucially, her motivation has happened off page, her thought processes have happened off page, her reactions have happened off page. It's all happened off page. So how can we possibly have any judgment, much less give us stuff about what's happened to Becky? And that is what really, really frustrates me. Because maybe she deserved for her life to be ruined, and she's an ultimate villain. But then you think about the backstory that she's had. Does she deserve it? Because maybe she has never been shown love. She's had to drag her way up. Nobody has looked out for her properly. So maybe she deserves compassion. And then you think about the role models she's had, and maybe she doesn't deserve it. Because maybe her role models have been terrible, and so she's learned bad habits from bad people. But then she's seen the consequences of her actions, and so maybe she does deserve it. Because maybe she's seen people like Chloe get hurt. She's been with the family of the missing girl. She obviously was involved adjacently in the death of the princess. So maybe she does deserve it. But it's just impossible to reach any sort of conclusion, which is highly, highly depressing and upsetting. And I know what else is highly depressing and upsetting for you: the fact that we're not doing the full Oasis song. So just to satisfy you, here you go. Can't see the words. Because maybe there's nothing in this book to save me, and after all, it was terrible. Today was gonna be the day that we did the musical episode. By now you should have somehow realised you should have unsubscribed. I don't believe that anybody likes these episodes, and no surprise. And all the songs that I perform were screeching, and all the ears that heard these tunes are bleeding. There are many things for which I should apologise, but I don't know how. I said maybe the one thing that I did was save you from this book. It's terrible. I said maybe the one thing that I did was save you from this book. It's terrible. So in conclusion, I did not enjoy Becky, even though I should have. There was so much in it that I would have enjoyed if it had been done properly. I would have enjoyed the fact we've tied all these 90s events together and the pop culture references we would have been able to get. I would have really enjoyed watching Becky's story unfold, because from that beginning point I was really invested in this young girl and her backstory, and at the end I think she had a really interesting, morally grey character that you could have had interesting discussions about, but the whole bit in the middle just robbed us of any sense of who she was, why she was doing anything, and what we thought about her. And the problem is that it's just this wonderful, potentially interesting, complex character piece has been decimated by trying to regurgitate Vanity Fair, which, if we're honest about it, was quite crap in the first place. So doing it again hasn't been worthwhile. And I think if we just dispensed with the Vanity Fair thing, then then it actually would have been great, which is the most frustrating thing. So many missed opportunities, so much wasted potential. Becky, you have let me down. You have let me down badly. I wish you had shown me instead of telling me. Oh, Becky, Becky. Oh, Becky, Becky. Oh, Becky, Becky. Oh, Becky, Becky, how was I supposed to know? The plotting wasn't tight here. Oh, Becky, Becky, I should have just let you go. Get you out of sight, yeah. Show me instead of just telling me. Tell me, Becky, 'cause you moved so slow, and all because your jerkiness is killing me. And I must confess, I just can't read, When I'm reading you, I lose my mind, one thing at a time. Help me, Becky, read this crime.
Oh, Becky, Becky, this book is all about you. The girl is so one-sided. Honestly, Becky, there's nothing that will get me through. How did your author plan it? Show me instead of just telling me. Tell me, Becky, 'cause you move so slow. Oh, because your jerkiness is killing me. And I must confess, I just can't read, When I'm reading you, I lose my mind, one thing at a time. Help me, Becky, read this crime.
Oh, Becky, Becky.
Oh, Becky, Becky, yeah, yeah.
Oh, Becky, Becky, how was I supposed to know? Oh, Becky, Becky, I should have just let you go. I must confess that your jerkiness is killing me now. Don't you know I can't believe there is a plot here. This book is a crime. Help me, Becky, read this crime. Your jerkiness is killing me. I must confess, I just can't read, When I'm reading you, I lose my mind, one thing at a time. Help me, Becky, read this crime.
That your jerkiness is killing me now. Don't you know I can't believe there is a plot here. This book is a crime. Help me, Becky, read this crime.
It's Brenny, bitch. Thank you so much for watching and for making it to the end of this torture. Bon voyage.